few track changes for the 2014 season sees the removal of the Korean and Indian circuits, replaced by the new Russian track in Sochi, and the return of the famous Österreichring, now known as the Red Bull Ring. There'll be a Sochi video on the way, but for now let's look at some footage of a quick race in Austria. Unfortunately, there's no Oculus support at this stage, so you're watching my monitor's direct feed. It's a shame they weren't able to offer DK2 support for the PC version, but this isn't really a surprise. I'm not seeing any significant visual improvements over F1 2013, so aside from the new car models, the overall graphics engine hasn't seen much attention this year. Sounds like we'll have to wait until the new generation of games from Codemasters before they officially support virtual reality headsets. Or they might patch it in after release, who knows. But I think you'll agree that despite the engine being optimised for the 360 and PS3, it still delivers good graphics, particularly in the wet or if it's overcast like this. The big update for 2014 is accommodating the drastic rule changes we've seen in F1 this season, the move to smaller turbocharged engines, a more integrated energy recovery system, 8-speed gearboxes, different aero rules, and many adjustments to the sporting regulations. The most notable change is the sound. I'm not a huge fan of the new noise, but it does add a nice whine from the turbo as you lift off the throttle. It doesn't sound quite right from the replay cameras, but I think they've captured the atmosphere fairly well from the cockpit view. Then there is the handling and overall performance. The engines, or power units as they like to call them, are very torquey, so there's a much greater tendency to light up the rear tyres compared to last year. You have to be smoother and more patient with throttle application, and you'll find yourself taking corners in higher gears than before to try to tame that power delivery. It's also noticeable on the brakes. They seem better than the 2013 cars, but slightly artificial, so they've sorted that rather believably. As this is a 3-lap race, there's no DRS to play with, but that is still part of the game. However, the KERS button from last year is no longer available. You used to be able to deploy an extra 80 horsepower for about 7 seconds per lap, but the new system provides 160 horsepower for 33 seconds per lap automatically. In reality, the drivers are still able to override this with a manual boost button, but unfortunately Codemasters haven't made this feature available. From a sim racing perspective, the F1 games have seemed quite tame. The game is designed to be accessible for a large audience, so the physics are rather forgiving and the force feedback lacks the detail of a serious simulator, and that's still the case with F1 2014. However, the cars are more of a challenge to drive this year if you leave the assists off, so it may appeal to someone who thought the previous titles were too easy. I'll leave you with a comparison lap in Australia, showing the sound and handling differences, as well as the fact that the new cars are slightly slower.